This is Alan from artoftheiphone.com, and today we're taking a look at the 6 best news aggregation iPhone apps. These are apps that take thousands of news sources and shows you the most important or most interesting news of the day. So the first app we're going to look at today is called News 360. This is an app with a minimalist interface. It's got some cool features like this swipeable row of images that pulls images from different news sources, and also below that is a row of those sources which you can easily switch to and scroll through, or just tap one to go to the new article. And if you want to view the article on its original website, you just tap there at the bottom. This app also has some sharing tools. You can share with the usual suspects like Twitter and Facebook and Google+, share via email, and save to services like Instapaper or Evernote. You can switch between topics like sports and business. And overall, this is just a full-featured news app, but it's also really quick and has a lot of diverse sources. You can add your own topics like iPhone or Apple. Now, the next app we're going to look at is called Prismatic. This is another app with a very clean and minimalistic interface that pulls in articles from thousands of news sources. Prismatic is really easy to use, really easy to explore. Just tap on the headlines to read the story. Just kind of scroll down. They include a couple Twitter quotes commenting about the story. You can also visit the original website if you want. Another interesting feature about this app are the keywords that sit below each headline. For instance, the keyword for this one is David Beckham, and you can click on that and get more articles about David Beckham. Prismatic also has some customization options. You can add or remove sources from your news flow. You can add various topics that you're interested in. And Prismatic has a very cool interface for sharing and saving articles that you're interested in. And all you do to operate it is you tap and hold, and then you slide your finger over to, let's say, sharing or saving or favoriting the current article you're reading. Now, the next app we're going to take a look at is called S News, which is formerly G News, and it's an app to read the Google News website and take advantage of its tens of thousands of news sources. Now, this is a really bare bones app. It's nothing fancy, but it is very efficient to scan through the headlines and switch through stories and switch through the topics by swiping this row of buttons at the top. You can also customize that swipeable row of buttons by adding your own topics. For instance, I added iPhone as one. Another thing I like about this app is when you tap on a news story, it takes you directly to the article's original website. This app also has some very basic sharing tools. Share versus Facebook, Twitter, or email the link. Overall, this is just a very basic app to read Google News, but if you really like Google News like I do, it's just a better experience than trying to use the actual Google News website on the iPhone. The next app we're going to look at here is called SkyGrid. It has a tile-based interface that is a very visual way of scanning the day's headlines. You tap on a particular headline and it'll bring up all of the articles about that particular news subject, and then you can click on to one. For instance, this is the New York Daily News, and it takes you to the website if you want. This app also has all the sharing tools you expected: Facebook, Twitter, email, or even iMessage, Instapaper. App also has some customization tools. You can add your own topics like the iPhone or iPad or Apple, or you can even add specific websites or news sources. The next app we're going to look at is called Dig. This is a little bit different than the old Dig website that used to be popular. This is a very stripped down, minimalistic take on news. The coolest thing about this app is most of these stories are full articles without ads, and they're just stripped down and, like I said, very minimalist way of reading. But although you can visit the original article in the app if you want. There are saving tools, sharing tools, Facebook, Twitter, You can save for offline viewing. And it's just a really easy app to use, but it's also kind of an alternative news source. So it's not going to have a lot of mainstream news. It might have some, but also has some quirky stories that might be interesting. The final app we're going to look at here is called Alien Blue. And this is an app to access the website Reddit. Now, Reddit is kind of a democratic news site where people can post funny stories or pictures or links or tweets, and other people can vote it up or down, and kind of what's most interesting or most shocking or most entertaining gets voted onto the front page. And that's kind of what I use the app for, is just to browse the front page of Reddit to see entertaining things. There are several apps to access Reddit, but I just kind of feel like Alien Blue is the best. And this is the free version. It's got a lot of different options to change the look and how the app works. So that's a look at the 6 best news aggregator apps for the iPhone. You can find the full text article for this video at artoftheiphone.com. Head on over there and check it out. And I'll also include links to any of these apps. All these apps were free, by the way. So artoftheiphone.com.